We welcome you to George Smith Field here at Mahtomedi High School for the Section 4 quarterfinal game between the Mahtomedi Zephyrs and the Irondale Knights. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of our entire SEC sports crew, I'm Patrick Lilia with you for what should be this great matchup in Section 4. It's the 4-5 matchup. It's the second year in a row that the Zephyrs have ended up with a 4 seed and third out of the last 4 years. And they will take on the Irondale Knights, a team looking for their first ever state tournament appearance. As they take a look at the bracket, this game will feed into the winner of Stillwater and Totino Grace. That game taking place earlier this afternoon. On the other side of the bracket, Hill Murray and Roseville. And White Bear Lake taking on Mounds View. That will be the other semifinal matchup on the bottom side of the bracket, as the Knights have been introduced.
Senior attack number 3,
take a look at the
Senior attack number 4, Gunnar Silman. Senior mid number 5, Frankie Lombardi. Senior face-off specialist number 6, Sam Churchill. Senior mid number 9, Ned Whitney. Junior mid number 14, Julian Cisick.
So the Knights continuing to be introduced, as the Knights will be on the right side of your screen in that maroon and gold.
Head coach for the Zephyrs, Mike Nero. Assistant coaches, Jared Johnson, Parker Holland, Marshall Murphy.
Zephyrs were introduced but remained in their huddle, as they will get some last-second instructions before we get going. Zephyrs will go left to right here in this first quarter. Zephyrs are in the white with navy. So we'll have the midfield pre-game meeting as we just a couple minutes away from getting this game started. Last 4 meetings between these two have gone the way of the Zephyrs. 3 out of the 4 very decisively. Won a section quarterfinal game 2 years ago. Semifinal game in 2022, the Zephyrs won by 1 goal. 7-6 the final score. Zephyrs got off to a hot start to the season. They'll look to recapture some of that as at a little bit of a tougher finish. Take a look at the Zephyrs player to watch, Ned Whitney, as we are underway here in this opening quarter. Battle continues for the loose change at midfield as it's finally scooped up for the Knights by Caden Hansen, as Hansen advances aggressively, then immediately backs things down as a loose ball is taking a whack at it is Julian Cisick of the Zephyrs. Knights on the opening possession. They'll come back behind the net. It's Jacob Bankston, Irondale's player to watch, will drop it back out. Knights look to dance inside as being pressured is Kingston Vang, as he'll work it back behind the Zephyr net once again.
What's that? We hot? Who's hot? Not.
Bankston will have to recover the loose ball. Bankston trying to get past Cisick. Does get it inside as it's pushed wide of the net, and goaltender Jack Steppen. Irondale continuing a long opening possession with it. Streaking in and taking the bouncing shot is Colin O'Brien. Well, the possession will continue for the Knights. Bang again, back up high, as now he'll leave it off for Freddie Bankston. Bankston with the shot, just knocked down. Finally carried back the other way by Hank Roloffs. Roloffs having to quickly check up as he reached that midfield line. Well, Zephyrs quickly race back with an opportunity as Irondale will take things back. Well, the Knights controlled it for about the first 2.5 minutes, and a very quick Zephyr possession. Now it's right back with Irondale. Knights will make some changes behind the play. Fresh group of middies comes on for the Knights. Worked out of the near side of the net. Then back up for Freddie Bankston as Bankston will airmail one well over the top of the net. Knights again keep the pressure going. Jacob Bankston trying to get inside. Grab it back out for Max Shaver. Bang. Got away from pressure initially. Now he will carry things all the way back out. Spinning inside and taking a shot just wide in front of the net was Shaver. Probably the best scoring chance the Knights have had, even though they've controlled it for the bulk of these first 4.5 minutes. Zephyrs able to turn it over. Zephyrs putting a perfect regular season home record on the line. Won all 6 of their home games in the regular season.
Bottom left! We're brown! Bottom right! Bottom right!
Zephyrs will change some of their middies as it's Mason Peterson trying to come inside with it.
Bottom right!
Landon Cruz gave it back off. Coming inside, Sam Churchill as he met some contact before he could get a shot off. Ian Carlson. Sam Knapp for the Zephyrs. We'll see it worked back into the high slot as we approach the midpoint of this first quarter.
Yeah.
What the? Mason Peterson came in for the shot and puts Mahtomedi on top 1-0. Peterson, the bouncing shot that gets over the left shoulder of the Irondale goaltender, and the Zephyrs take a 1-0 lead about midway through this first quarter. Jacob Bankston comes up the left wing.
At 6:18 of the first quarter, number 11, Mason Peterson. Assisted by number 6, Sam Churchill.
Churchill picks up the assist.
Peterson from Churchill.
Mason Peterson, who had 14 goals in the regular season, picks up his 15th. Irondale, who has controlled a lot of the play, finds themselves behind. Haven't even really had more than about one good look at a scoring opportunity despite all the time they've spent in the Mahtomedi zone. So Brian knocked down, able to get up, flings it, and a shot will end up going wide. Flings in that strong pass out of the other side for Shaver. Kingston Vang with it. Now O'Brien again. O'Brien will lob it behind the Zephyr net. Irondale trying to get some quick passing going. Trying to work through the contact. It was Owen Norling as it'll be taken by the Zephyrs. Pass upfield intercepted by O'Brien as O'Brien met a check that's going to draw a penalty against the Zephyrs. As O'Brien works things back out for Wyatt Tamble. Oh, flag down and a penalty coming against the Zephyrs at the next whistle. As here's Vang. Worked back out for Eli Dojan. So Jacob Bankston scores, and the Knights have, I beg your pardon, a foul called.
Penalty on number 0, Hank Roloffs.
So Roloffs picks up the penalty. Jan Manchik with it. Shot ripped wide of the net from Freddie Bankston. Good passing from the Knights to set up the opportunity. That time the Knights do get it in, and the goal for Manchik as he was flying his way on the far side of the net, and that time the Knights do get the goal, and they've tied it at 1 with the man-up situation.
Scoring for the Knights at 2:43 of the first quarter, number 4, Jan Manchik.
Off the face-off. Zephyrs eventually able to get control of it in the Irondale end. Then it's separated away from Gunnar Selman of the Zephyrs. As looking to recover was Cizik, as the Knights will come back the other way with the 22nd of the year for Manchik. Cizik will carry it upfield as we're about to go under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. 1-1. Knights have controlled the offensive zone for probably about 60% of this first quarter, but only have one goal to show for it. And there is a flag down, a penalty coming against the Knights. Zephyrs working around the Irondale net. High pass able to be pulled down by Cruz. Cruz works it onto the side of the net. Trying to streak it is Seth Erickson, and he'll take a long shot for the Zephyr goal, and Mahtomedi back on top late in the first quarter. Oh, the man-up goal for the Zephyrs puts them back in front. Tenth goal of the year for Seth Erickson.
Scoring for Mahtomedi at 56 seconds left in the first quarter. Number 18, Seth Erickson.
So Erickson hits double digits on the year, and Eli Whitney picks up the assist.
56 seconds.
Irondale looking to make something happen. Freddie Bankston with the shot. That'll go wide of Steppen. Colin O'Brien trying to pick up some speed around Braden Poppelman. And was Poppelman able to work it free. And here come the Zephyrs late in this opening quarter. As Whitney thought about taking the shot, decided not to. Long shot with time winding down as the first quarter will come to an end.
Irondale 1.
Seth Erickson from Ned Whitney late in that first quarter puts the Zephyrs on top 2-1 after one quarter. We'll take a break. We'll come back with your second quarter of this quarterfinal boys lacrosse game in Section 4.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. It was time for me to change my life and the lives of my family, so I went back and I got my high school diploma. That was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher.
Mom, this is your very first yearbook.
Your commitment to education motivates me, your coworkers, and your students.
You showed me that if you come from nothing, you can still be anything.
You told me I deserve to succeed. It's been 15 years, and I still live by that.
You're the model for success for your kids, grandkids, and your students.
When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Welcome back to George Smith Field here at Mahtomedi High School. Second quarter just underway in this so far white knuckle Section 4 quarterfinal game with the host Zephyrs in front 2-1. Late goal from Seth Erickson with Ned Whitney picking up the assist in that opening quarter. Irondale going left to right here in the second in the burgundy with gold. Second quarter starting out a lot like that first did, that Irondale controlled the offensive zone a lot, but found scoring opportunities rather harsh in that opening frame. Slipping and falling down in front of James Thunick. Loose on the carpet, Thunick. He was trying to get control of it, the whistles blow. Winner of this game will take on the winner of Totino Grace against Stillwater. Colin O'Brien up high. Gives off for Kingston Vang. O'Brien behind the net with it. Long shot. Able to sneak under the crossbar for Kingston Vang, as you probably caught on the field mics, the ping as it went off the bottom of the bar, but the officials call it a good goal, and we're tied at 2. Vang just able to get a little bit of space. You can hear the ping again in the replay. Now Kingston Vang, the game-tying goal. And we're tied for the second time at 2 apiece.
Starting for the Vinnies, channel 6 of the second quarter, number
16th
9,
of the year for Kingston Vang.
Kingston Vang, assisted by number 2, Colin O'Brien.
And O'Brien picks up the assist.
O'Brien at 10:06.
Irondale off the face-off, right back at it in the offensive zone. Knights turn it over on the foul. It's getting tripped up. Flag comes down as it's worked ahead by Poppelman. Zephyrs will go man up once again at the next whistle. Both teams have a man up goal in the game. Mason Peterson. Zephyrs will work it around quickly. Landon Cruz, defended by Eli Lau.
Good stick, Noah. You're good, you're good. Come, Rico!
Gunnar Selman. Mason Peterson able to work through a couple of sticks, had it stripped away, but a whistle blows, and now the Zephyrs will go man up. There's a tripping call against Eli Dojan.
Foul on the Knights, number 92, Eli Dojan.
A chance for the Zephyrs perhaps to regain the lead. It's Cruz. Leaves off on a give and go with Churchill. Pass just wasn't quite there in front of the Zephyrs. Will have to back things out. It's Cruz. Churchill. Landon Cruz again. Will send it up high for Churchill. Churchill trying to work through some contact from Caden Hansen. Flex wide of the net, and it'll be over to the Knights. Noah Burkhart trying to get it toward midfield. Off the turnover, Cruz will push it ahead back for the Zephyrs. Mason Peterson took the shot as it went wide in front of the net. Cruz takes the shot and scores. Landon Cruz didn't need a lot of room. And the Zephyrs go back in front. It was Wyatt Tamble who was the defender in front of him. So Mahtomedi able to regain the lead. Good quick shot from Cruz. 10th goal of the year for Landon Cruz. Mahtomedi able to control the face-off as Cizik met 3 maroon jerseys and a foul called.
Number 25, Landon Cruz, unassisted.
So the Zephyrs back on top midway through the second quarter. Got it in front for a chance, and what a save at point blank. Jasper Doobie making the stop. Zephyrs made a strong bid for the first multi-goal lead of the game. We're going to timeout called with a little under 5.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Timeout on the field.
Well, the Zephyrs in front by 1 once again. Irondale hanging tough. We expected a good close game tonight. So far, that's what we've had. So take a look at the Metro East standings from the regular season. Hill Murray undefeated during the regular season. Remember, we were here for Mahtomedi against St. Thomas. One of only 2 losses that the Cadets suffered came here at George Smith Field. As Mahtomedi, by virtue of that win over St. Thomas, finished second in the conference. Knights finishing in the middle of the pack in the Suburban East. Some really strong teams. Of course, White Bear Lake on the other side of the Section 4 bracket as the 2 seed. Also have Stillwater undefeated, the number 1. They're taking on Totino Grace today. It's come out of the timeout, and the Knights controlling. Shaver worked it back out. Lau up high. There's a chance and a stop made by Steppen as the ball ricochets its way back out toward the far boundary. Kingston Vang, who had one of the 2 Irondale goals. Lau works it behind the Mahtomedi net. Number of bodies collide in front of the net. That'll stay with the Knights. Good audio being picked up from our field mics of some of that contact behind the Zephyr net. As Irondale still on the offensive here. Now it's loose on the ground. And the Zephyrs able to force the turnover. Zephyrs will come back up the field with it. James Luna carried it across, and we'll get a timeout called by Mahtomedi. Now they'll go over some strategy here as we approach the final 3 minutes of the second quarter. Mahtomedi on top 3-2. That 2 ties in the game. The Zephyrs have led 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. First meeting in 2 years between these 2 schools. The last 4 have all gone to the Zephyrs. So we'll take on we'll take a look at the Irondale team profile. Looking for their first ever state tournament bid. Last won the conference in 2022. Prior to that, they were in the Northwest Suburban. Did win that in 2018 as well. Do have some scoring punch, as we've seen with this team. As I've talked about, at least in that first quarter, they controlled a lot of the offensive zone, but scoring chances came to be very few. But the Zephyrs come out of the timeout. Bouncing pass, now streaking inside, and then just getting stripped from behind was Mason Peterson. And then the turnover able to be forced away from Doobie, as then a chance came for Sam Knapp. Back out for Cruz. Sam Churchill slowing things down. Just not quite able to connect inside on the pass to Ned Whitney. Logan Dahm will lob this pass ahead for the Knights. And the Knights will take their second and final timeout with under 2 minutes to go in this first half. Mahtomedi back on top as the Knights will look to try to get the game evened up here in the final moments of this first half. Really good defense and goaltending we've seen in this game. A tremendous stop by Jack Steppen earlier in the game. Coming in with that chance a moment ago was Sam Knapp. Just couldn't quite get that shot away. Goals in the game, Seth Erickson, Mason Peterson, and Landon Cruz for the Zephyrs. And for Irondale, Jan Manchik and Kingston Vang. Freddie Bankston will control out of the timeout here in the final 2 minutes of this first half.
No go, no go. No go.
Irondale will work it around the Zephyr net. It's Vang. Towards the final minute. Irondale looking to get this thing knotted up as we head to the halftime huddles. Feed inside as it just slips out of the pocket. Coming down toward the final 30 seconds. Vang now taking it back on the side of the net. Time starting to become of the essence. The feed, the shot saved by Steppen, loose as it dribbles wide of the net. And it'll be Mahtomedi ball with 12 seconds to go in the half. Well, Steppen, who has made a couple of tremendous saves as the Zephyrs will try to make something out of nothing with how little time they had left. Did a pretty good job of it, but that'll bring us to the end of the first half. The Zephyrs on top 3-2 on the Landon Cruz goal. We'll take a break here on SEC Sports. Second half of this Section 4A quarterfinal around the corner. 3-2 Mahtomedi at the half.
When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. Yeah. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me? Yeah!
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
I never realized that I'd be taking care of a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old on my own. Sometimes as dads, I think we're too hard on ourselves. We get down on ourselves on not being able to, we're the providers, but we also have to learn to take care of ourselves. Self-love made me a better dad because I realized my worth. My daughter Isabella recently had a graduation into high school, and I got emotional because I saw pride in her eyes. I saw my daughter have her own self-love, and I saw the hard work of me being that dad 24/7 transferred to my teenage daughter. The word father means a lot to me. When I give my love to my children as a father, I can see it.
Welcome back to George Smith Field here at Mahtomedi High School. This Section 4 quarterfinal game has been close and competitive, just like we thought it would be, as the Zephyrs holding a 1-goal lead, 3-2. So we're a couple minutes away from getting the second half started. The winner of this game will take on Stillwater, who took care of business against Totino Grace earlier this afternoon in a very uncompetitive fashion. 21-2 the final score. So winner of this game will head on over to Stillwater High School for round number 2. Take a look at the highlights of this first half. A back and forth low scoring affair as things got started with Mason Peterson bouncing one in past Doobie the goaltender. Irondale able to answer with the goal for Jan Manchik. Seth Erickson putting the Zephyrs back on top, but again the Knights had an answer. Kingston Fang just inside, or got it just inside that crossbar, and then Landon Cruz that turnaround shot put the Zephyrs on top, and they hold the lead as we go to the second half. Thanks so much for joining us this late afternoon. Lights have been turned on as we head to the second half. Michael Nero will give some last-minute instructions to his squad. Game time temperatures in the mid-70s, probably now closer to 70 as we work our way into the second half. Irondale looking for their first ever state tournament trip. Zephyrs looking to make it 7 out of 11 years. As we are underway in the second half, as it's still loose off the face-off. Still hasn't been picked up yet, and now finally the Zephyrs able to control it as they go left to right here in the third quarter. Zephyrs will keep possession of it. Ned Whitney behind the net, got it in front for Sam Knapp, who came so close in that first half on a couple of occasions, and the Zephyrs have the first multi-goal lead of the game. Sam Knapp, his 21st goal of the year. Some of the Knights just looking up at the sky in a little bit of frustration at how that developed. Sam Knapp giving the Zephyrs a 2-goal lead here early in the second half.
Assisted by number 9.
Ned Whitney picks up his second assist of the game. Jan Manchik will carry for the Knights.
On your matchup. Who's hot? Hold up, hold up. That's out.
Zephyrs will take it on the turnover as it's controlled by Steppen, who made a couple of tremendous saves in that first half. Miles Poppelman carried it into the Irondale zone. Whitney stripped of it. And here come the Knights on the left boundary with Wyatt Tamble. Team's making some adjustments as the Knights will get some fresh middies on. Now they will continue their offensive as they got it in front for Eli Dojin, and the Knights will get back within a goal. A long pass cross field as Dojin all alone in front, so once the pass got to him, not much resistance. Oh, the Knights back within one.
Scoring for Irondale at 9:31 of the third quarter, number 92, Eli Dojin. Assisted by
Dojin, who had the big penalty in that first half as the Zephyrs ended up scoring on the man up. 12th goal of the year for Dojin.
Who's two?
Knights will look to put some pressure on, trying to get this thing tied up. It's Colin O'Brien. Feed inside. And the goal for Freddie Bankston. So just like that, the Knights have come back and tied it up. Bankston all alone drops it in over the shoulder of Jack Steppen. Well, that 2-goal lead for the Zephyrs did not last long. "38th goal of the year for Freddie Bankston.
Scoring for Irondale at 8:32 of the third quarter, number 5, Freddie Bankston. Assisted by number 3, Maxwell Shaver. Bankston from Shaver at 8:32.
Shaver picks up the assist.
Penalty on Zephyrs number
And we are
0.
tied for the third time in the game. Gunnar Selman. Now the Zephyrs got the quick goal to go up 2, and then an immediate response by Irondale. There was also a flag that came down, so the Zephyrs a player down. A little over 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter, and now the Knights will also have a player sit. We're back to even strength for the moment with both teams a player down. Cruz. A little more space with a player on each side not out there at the moment. Now the Zephyrs come back to full strength. Now the Zephyrs man up for a little bit. The turnaround shot ends up going off the back boundary. Zephyrs continue to be man up a little longer. Knights come back to full strength. Mason Peterson. Mason Peterson separated from it as he tried to drive inside. And the Knights will charge up field with it. Eli Lau came afield with, there was some violent whacks at it and some whistles from behind. And we're going to get a timeout called. About midway through this third quarter, Mahtomedi, as we mentioned, came out strong in this third quarter. Landon Cruz with some vicious whacks trying to slow down Eli Lau coming upfield. Zephyrs scored in the first minute of this third quarter, and then two very quick goals for the Knights put us right back at square one. Trying to feed it inside into traffic. A chance that the shot was stopped by Steppen. Quickly upfield as the long pass a little bit too far for Thunik. It's Colin O'Brien able to recover for the Knights. Jan Manchik. Manchik now cut sharply toward the net. He drops it for Kingston Vang. Freddie Bankston Works free behind the Zephyr net. The loose ball, Vang overran it, but the Knights able to recover anyway. Eli Dojin. Dojin try to wrap around. It was well defended, drops it back for Vang. It's Freddie Bankston. Bankston trying to spin. Had it stripped, got it back. Survived some contact. Bankston just keeps working, then takes a shot that goes wide behind the net. Heck of an effort by Bankston. It's Jacob Bankston with it. Vang. Knights will be very patient, as we've seen throughout this game. Vang got it onto the side of the net. Bouncing pass back toward O'Brien. Jacob Bankston once again. Vang. If anything, of course, you're keeping that defense having to work pretty hard, as spinning inside. A great stop by Steppen again, but the ricochet recovered by the Knights. Jacob Bankston again with it. The pass will go over to the Zephyrs. So, kind of like we saw in that first quarter, a lot of time in the offensive zone, maybe one good scoring chance for the Knights. A great stop by Steppen, and the Zephyrs now in control of it in a tie game, as then it's stripped. And a foul will be called as Hank Roloff shoved one of the Knights to the ground. To approach the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. It's Freddie Bankston. Set up a play for Harton, as Harton will send it behind the Zephyr net. Freddie Bankston will roll the pass toward midfield. We'll go to the final minute of the third quarter. Freddie Bankston cuts inside, takes the shot, and puts Irondale on top for the first time in the game. So the second goal of the quarter for Bankston. With under a minute to go in the third quarter, that persistent patience pays off for Irondale. Thus they've gone on a 3-goal run since Mahtomedi made it 4-2 early in this third quarter. See what the Zephyrs can do in this final minute is some hard contact. That'll draw a penalty. Is I think some retaliatory contact.
Scoring for Irondale at 43 seconds left in the third.
So the 39th of the year for Bankston.
Freddie Bankston, unassisted.
It looks like both teams will go a player down after that last sequence. Beg your pardon, it'll be only the Knights, so it'll be just the Knights taking the penalty. And Mahtomedi man up here in the final 35 seconds of the third quarter. Cruz will carry ahead with it. Zephyrs try to get it back into the slot. Rolls its way back toward midfield. Final 10 seconds. Still loose on the block M logo at midfield as the Knights will race ahead with it, and the third quarter will come to a close. So the Knights, with a 3-goal burst, have their first lead. A pair of goals from Freddie Bankston and one from Eli Dojan. And the Zephyrs will go to the fourth quarter trailing for the first time tonight. We'll take a break. We'll come back with your fourth quarter. Knights 5 and the Zephyrs 4 after 3 quarters. We'll take that timeout. Exciting fourth quarter on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
At school, it feels like everyone's staring at me, and I'm just kind of not really a person.
Sometimes I can't believe that you could be proud of me if I'm not proud of myself.
It just was hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
Think of our best times together. Let's do more of that.
Try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Welcome back to Mahtomedi High School. The Zephyrs trailing as we go to the fourth quarter. Take a look at the third quarter highlights for you. As we had mentioned, Sam Knapp in the first minute gave the Zephyrs a 2-goal advantage pretty much right out of the gate in the third quarter, but then the Knights started their run. Eli Dojan and then a pair from Freddie Bankston have the Knights in front, looking for the upset on the road here in this 5-4 matchup. See what the Zephyrs can do in this final frame. Zephyrs were making some changes as they'll rush up the far boundary with it. Landon Cruz scored a goal earlier, is stripped of it as it rolls toward midfield. Still loose, there was some more contact beyond that midfield line as now players just going all out for it here in the early stages of this win or go home game. In the fourth quarter, as a shot might have deflected off the goaltender Doobie, as it'll come out on toward the near side. Zephyrs in control of it. Gunnar Selman Mason Peterson lobs it onto the side of the net. Dangerous pass pulled down by Cruz. Cruz had it knocked out of his pocket. That'll come back toward midfield, and the Knights will have control of it. Then Cruz makes a nice play to strip it, but we'll say he did it illegally. Maxwell Shaver.
We're green. Hey, you lost her.
The shot through traffic goes wide. It'll stay with the Knights. Knights work it into the high slot. Working through some contact. And the shot was taken by Jacob Bankston. Another good job by our field Mikes to pick up some of that crunching contact as Bankston tried to work his way through a pair of Zephyrs. Head for Graydon Poppelman. Timeout called with 9:21 left in regulation. No margin for error to really play with for the Zephyrs. Down just one, but can't afford to fall behind any further. And the Zephyrs will talk over some strategy to try to get this game tied up. We'll take a look at the third quarter scoring once again as things opened up. Sam Knapp in that first minute of the third quarter gave the Zephyrs a 2-goal lead. Then the rally started for Irondale. It was Eli Dojan and then a pair for Freddie Bankston, who's now up to 39 total goals on the season. Bankston making that nice move to generate some space and put the Knights in front. That was the first lead for Irondale in the game. Zephyrs will come out of their timeout. Lucas Vanderlooy will get it onto the far boundary. Churchill. The shot bounding through traffic was taken by Sam Erickson. Or Seth Erickson, I beg your pardon. Vanderlooy drops it onto the side of the net. A jump shot goes wide of the net from Whitney. Selman. Vanderloo. Vanderloo trying to shrug off some contact. Coming through, a bouncing shot was stopped by Doobie from Churchill. Doobie's best stop of the night. Comes in a big spot as it keeps Irondale in the lead. Crowd yelling for an offside, and don't think they got one. Instead, it's a timeout called by the Knights. Well, both teams using their timeouts fairly early in the second half. Take a look at that last stop by the goaltender, Jasper Doobie. Churchill came in through the slot for the opportunity. Well, both teams have one timeout left. Knights looking for an insurance goal, like we thought was going to be important to Mahtomedi when they went up by 2, and it turned out the Knights erased that very quickly. For Freddie Bankston. Shaver will work it behind the net. Just over 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Dojan got the pass, spins, takes the shot, and the nice stop by Steppen. And quickly turned back the other way for Thunik. Thunik works it off as they have the chance, and it's blocked. Oh my, as Ned Whitney had a great chance. Irondale maintains the lead. We got the crowd rocking the stands a little bit. Mason Peterson. Vanderlau. Comes back for Whitney. Long pass. Still loose. And it'll stay with the Zephyrs. Zephyrs need one to tie. The shot was blocked, I think, before it got through to Doobie. Noah Burkhart carried it up the left wing. Ryan Ramore will set things up, leave it off for Shaver. Final 5 minutes of regulation. So Brian. Irondale in no hurry right now. We've seen them be patient throughout the game, but here it's as much trying to run some clock as much as trying to get that insurance goal that may, if they get it, possibly punch them through to the semifinal round. So Brian playing a little bit of keep away as we go under 4 minutes.
Yeah. Move your feet.
Ball came loose on the far boundary, but the Knights able to keep possession of it. Zephyrs trying to force the turnover, and it will be Zephyr ball. Braden Poppelman came ahead with it. Gunnar Selman. Churchill. Crowd imploring the Zephyrs to start attacking the net a little more forcefully. Whitney. We come down to 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Cruz. Zephyrs will come back on toward the near side. Now back behind the net. Wraparound try, score. The game tying goal for Whitney. And we are equalized with 2:10 to go in regulation. With 2:10 left to go, the Zephyrs get the game tying goal. 27th of the year for Ned Whitney.
Number 9, Ned Whitney. Assisted by number 3, Sam Knapp.
Sam Knapp picks up the assist.
At 2:10.
Irondale see what they can do here in the final 2 minutes of regulation. Knights able to keep it through some contact and a loose ball. Knights do have one timeout if they want to go over some strategy here in the final minute. Knights will try to work it through the high slot. As now backing down is Vang with it. 1 minute to go in regulation. Knights holding for the last chance. Comes inside, a shot goes wide behind Steppen. We'll have a Zephyr slow to get up. Popping to his feet is Mike Poppelman.
Move your feet. What are you doing? Sticks up. Sticks up. Right back. Sticks up.
Final 30 seconds. Knights generate some room. The shot, step in the save as it goes out of play. And that'll stop the clock with 17.9. Manchik got it up high. Knight's got to go. Shots went off the post. Ricochets back out up high. Final 5. Shot blocked in front. Loose ball pushed wide of the net, and that'll do it for regulation. So Ned Whitney ties the game. A late flurry of chances for Irondale, but can't get the go-ahead goal. As did have one great opportunity in the final seconds that went off the near post. We will head to overtime with a date with Stillwater on the line. And unfortunately for someone, the end of the season will also come in that package. 5-5 after regulation. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll come back with your overtime period right after this.
There you go.
It's like we just arrived.
I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. When I came back from the war, I became a homeless veteran. I was barely hanging on by a thread. The one thing that was constant for me was music. Music led me to Tanya. Normally with a veteran, we think we can solve everything. The truth of the matter is we cannot.
I just knew that something was different, something was off. I let him know that he wasn't alone. There are people that loved him.
And says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to love. Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
Back to George Smith Field at Mahtomedi High School. Ned Whitney tied to the game late. Some late chances for Irondale to win it in regulation, but had one go off the post. As the Zephyrs control, 4 minutes on the clock to begin the first overtime. And quickly a timeout called by the Zephyrs. Well, the Zephyrs, not wanting to waste any time with this opportunity, will talk it over just 9 seconds into the overtime period. Now, the only goal of that fourth quarter went to Whitney. So the winner of this game will take on Stillwater in the semifinal round. 2 other games taking place alongside ours, Hill Murray and Roseville. That's the 2-7 game, and White Bear Lake Mounds View, the 3-6. Stillwater prior to us wrapping things up. We don't anticipate having finals for those other 2 games for you, but we do know where the winner of this game will be going. They'll take on Stillwater. Crowd getting into it here at George Smith Field. It's Gunnar Selman. Pass out of reach. It'll come back toward midfield. Zephyrs able to keep it on the Irondale side. Mason Peterson. Bouncing shot was taken by Seth Erickson. Zephyrs able to keep it alive on the back line.
22. Drive.
Whitney, who tied the game late, will lob it back out. Here's Cruz. Cruz coming in, takes a shot. It's loose and just deflected wide of the net. Looking behind him was the goaltender Doobie. Contact across midfield, and now the Knights will take a timeout. Well, the Zephyrs had a chance. Cruz came in, bouncing shot, went straight up in the air off of Doobie. He looked behind him, making sure that didn't go in the net, and was just able to cover it in front of the goal. So now the Knights will take their turn. Reddy Bankston, who has a pair of goals for the Knights. Vang. Terry behind the net with it. Vang. Trying to get away from some contact. It's back for Colin O'Brien. There's a shot saved by Steppen. Comes back towards Steppen, and he's able to come away with the loose ball. Zephyrs will come up the far boundary as we go under a minute and a half to go in the first overtime. Dribbles toward Doobie as he's got it. It's intercepted by the Zephyrs. It's loose on the ground. And the Zephyrs can't quite corral it. They are able to keep it in. 1 minute to go in overtime. Churchill for Selman. It's Cruz. It's Whitney on the far side. Zephyrs gonna run this down as far as they can. Whitney. Selman with it. Selman is trapped on the back line as the Knights were able to force it free. And it looks like that'll just about do it for the first overtime period, as the Knights don't even allow Mahtomedi to have a chance to win it. And we'll go to a second overtime. 5-5 still our score. We'll be back on the other side.
The bravest person I know is definitely my dad, 100%.
My friend Sean.
My daughter Cynthia, and she was in the United States Army.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
Our journey has not been easy.
One of the bravest things he did was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost.
and you get me a place to stay.
When he decided he was going to go back to school after 23 years.
It was the better part of my life that I spent in the Marine Corps. Transitioning out, it's a difficult thing.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
So I really appreciate it.
Second overtime between the Zephyrs and the Knights with a bid against Stillwater on the line. Both teams one good shot away. 4 minutes on the clock as we head into the second overtime. And another immediate timeout by the Zephyrs as they gain the offensive possession. Zephyrs had a great chance in that first overtime on the Seth Erickson shot that sort of ate up the goaltender Doobie, but he was able to slow its momentum enough to keep it in front of the goal line. He turned around to look behind him after the shot. Well, the Zephyrs will come out of the timeout. Sam Churchill in control of it. Mason Peterson racing ahead. Peterson will work it back out. As a shot was blocked as Churchill took it. Knights in control for the first time in the second overtime. And now the Knights will take a timeout. Well, both teams seeing every opportunity as what could be the one, not worrying about holding on to those timeouts. So now the Knights will talk it over. Not a long timeout as everybody just wanted to make sure they were in the right place. Freddie Bankston with it out of the timeout. Back to Bankston. Bankston. Get it up high. It's O'Brien with the shot, and that's deflected wide. They'll stay with the Knights. Manchik. Manchik bumped off. Now Vang. It's O'Brien. An offside whistled. Bankston works inside, takes the shot, step in the save. Zephyrs will come on the attack. Grayson Poppelman halfway through the second overtime. Zephyrs changing their middies. Mason Peterson able to lob it inside, a shot goes wide. Sam Churchill. Mason Peterson spinning, shooting, and that'll go wide. Ned Whitney. Mason Peterson with the shot, score! The Zephyrs win it. Mason Peterson in double overtime sends the Zephyrs on to Stillwater. Mason Peterson, his 16th goal of the year. In the double overtime, Mahtomedi 6, Irondale 5. As Irondale's season will come to a heartbreaking conclusion. The Zephyrs jubilant as they punch their ticket to Stillwater. Peterson was just able to spin inside and drop it into that near left corner. So the Zephyrs will make the short trip over to Stillwater. That'll be on June 2nd with the game time to be announced. Mahtomedi, the double overtime winner from Mason Peterson. The Zephyrs 6 and Irondale 5. The final score. What a game we had tonight. Ned Whitney scored late to force overtime. And the Zephyrs get the winner in double overtime. Mason Peterson, who scored the first goal of the game, and also the last one, has had a back and forth affair for most of this one. Zephyrs took a 4-2 lead shortly after halftime. Bang there with the goal for the Knights. Landon Cruz responding for the Zephyrs. Knapp scored early in the second half. That made it 4-2, but then the Knights struck back. They scored 3 times. They led going to the fourth quarter and held that lead for most of the final frame. Freddie Bankston ends his season with 39 goals, including 2 in the third quarter of this game. As Whitney, the late equalizer, got the game to overtime. And in the double overtime, second goal of the game for Mason Peterson sends the Zephyrs on to Stillwater. And they'll take on the number 1 seed Ponies for a spot in the section final. 6-5, the Zephyrs win it in double overtime. On behalf of our entire SEC Sports crew, Joe and David, and our great camera crew tonight, I'm Patrick Lilia. It's been great to be with you. A thriller, Mahtomedi 6, Irondale 5. We'll catch you next time from a field near you.